Welcome to my Rammus jungle guide. I'll be showing you everything you know from playing Rammus in the jungle to ganking and runes and masteries, and what to build and when to build it. First off, when you're playing Rammus, you're going to want to start Machete 2 pot with the warding totem. Next, you're going to want to go to whatever lane your bot lane's at. Here you see me starting at red buff. You normally want to start at golems, but their Poppy picked exhaust, so that scared me a little bit. I was afraid she was just going to get her blue buff and then come kill me at red. So whenever you see your enemy jungler picking a fighting summoner like exhaust or ignite, you typically want to just get your buff and then move on. So anyways, you start whatever side your bot lane's at. As you can see, our support volley bear's AFK, so I just got a leash from Ashe at red. At level 1, you're going to want to go ahead and pick up your defensive curl. That's what you see right there is the defensive curl. It gives you a bunch of armor and it's like a little thorn mill. After you get your buff and hit level 2, you're going to want to pick up your Q, which is your power ball. It speeds you up over time. It's a massive speed up, and once you hit enemies, it knocks them up and slows them for a little bit. Whenever you go up to your camp, make sure you actually, especially early game, whenever the damage really counts on you because the jungle monsters are so strong, typically you're going to want to auto attack them, then Q, and then you're going to want to hit your W. So that way you get off a free auto attack, a Q, and then you're also on your W. It gives you maximum damage with taking the least amount of damage. As you can see, Rammus has pretty good sustainability in the jungle early game. I have a little over half health and I'm level 3, so that's pretty solid. At this point, level 3, you're going to want to go ahead and take your puncturing taunt. Always want to get your 3 spells as fast as you can as Rammus. I do come top. It's a complete waste of time. I thought Akali was going to be a little bit more aggressive, but I didn't realize my River took Ignite. So Akali's actually really strong now after the buff. So I see. I figure Poppy took her time getting to her red buff, but her red buff actually is gone. Nothing I can do about that. So I'm just still hanging out top, looking for a free gank. While I'm up here, I might as well just take Poppy's golems. I see her red buff's gone, so she's either at chickens or she went bot lane, so either way she shouldn't be up here. She probably went home knowing Poppy has such low sustain in the jungle. I do come back top again, but once again, Riven isn't ready. I saw Riven's Q was down, otherwise I would have flashed in and hit her and then taunted her. So just going back over what I already said, you're going to want to go ahead, level 1, you're going to want to take your W, which is your defensive curl. Level 2, get your power ball. Level 3, pick up your puncturing taunt. It's pretty much the only thing you can do in a gank to hold the enemy there. You're going to want to click your Q when you're going in for a gank to get the speed up. So pretty much once your Q is like halfway over or so, you're going to exit the bush or the darkness, and you're going to head right for the enemy. Once you hit them, you're going to want to taunt them and just keep smacking them. It's your choice, but I personally, especially since jungle monsters are so strong, I like to max my W a little bit first. At least put 2 points in your W before you start maxing your taunt, because you really need your W. Your W is a lot of your damage, and it also keeps you safe. It also gives you tons of armor and magic resist. Your passive is of course really good because it converts 25% of your armor into attack damage. So if you add 100 armor, then that'd be 25 free attack damage, which is quite a bit. Level 1, you actually start out with quite a bit of attack damage just because you like naturally start with like 40 or something. It gives you like 5 or 6 extra attack damage, which is actually pretty sweet. But from what you saw from my runes is you actually want to have a good amount of attack speed from Rammus, because first of all, Rammus has quite a bit of attack damage, especially late game, and especially when he's on his W, gives him tons. He's got around 200, and also the attack damage helps you clear because if your machete applies that burnout on every auto attack. It's very nifty. It's a very nice thing to have. I also do run a little bit of armor. And of course, you saw in the runes, I do run the armor quints. I think I only run 2. You would obviously swap those out with magic resist quints if you were playing against a high AP team. But this team I'm playing against, I could have, but since this is Since I didn't know what they were picking, I just went ahead and picked my standard Rammus runes, Masteries. So what you see here, I just come up from behind, I see Leona engage, I just queue up, taunt. It's a really free kill. Ashe just flashed for it. I don't know if that was necessary. I think she could have just kept applying her Q slow. What you saw there, you look for opportunities. Like I saw Leona was itching to go in. Right as I powered in my Q, I was just going to go into the bush if I had to, but I figured Leona was going to engage anyways. So it worked out. We blew Leona's flash and we got the kill. You'll always want to make sure the moment you hit them, you're going to want to taunt them, because after you hit them, they're going to run away. So you got to hit and taunt. I personally put my taunt on smart cast for that reason, so you can click it really fast. Sometimes they try to flash immediately and then you have no gap closer. We happened to taunt her before she flashed, so we got a ton of free damage on her. I see that Leona's going back at it, so you just Q, follow her all the way up, you hit her, you taunt, smack that bitch. Urgot's gonna ult you because he's a douche. You just keep auto-attacking Urgot with your red buff, them slows, Urgot's gonna flash, and you pick up the kill with the red buff. Of course Vibra's gonna flash because he's a dingleberry. You just picked up 2 more kills for your team. Very, very helpful. Of course Riven is gonna lose to Akali, even though Riven did take Ignite, so that's a little disappointing. The first items you're gonna want to get is you're gonna want to go ahead and pick up on your first back. You're gonna want to get your Trailblazer and boots. If you don't have enough to get Trailblazer, I don't know why you're going back yet. First of all, but then just get boots and potions. Ideally, you want to get Trailblazer and normal boots in your first back. If you don't, then it's just a failure. As you can see, since I got plenty of money from getting kills, I had enough money to go ahead and pick up your core items, which is your boots of mobility and your Trailblazer, which you're going to want to go ahead and turn your Trailblazer into a Cinderhulk. Cinderhulk is extremely OP on Rammus. Hands down, obviously the best item you can pretty much get on Rammus. Tons of health, and it's a Sunfire, so it's exactly what you need. The reason for the Trailblazer is it gives Rammus a lot more sustain in the jungle, a lot faster clears. It really gives Rammus everything he needs. I see a free gank. As you saw, I just queued up to her, taunted her. We got her flash. Azir wasted his flash because he was way too slow to use his ult. What you saw there was I saw the gank. I figured it wasn't warded, so I queued. And by the time I got to the bush, well, first of all, I was committed, but by the time I got to the bush, I was sped up by my Q because the longer it's on, the faster it goes. So that way, when I left the bush and Syndra could see me, I was already going so fast that she can't just walk away because I'm too damn fast. And I figured while I'm at it, I might as well take Poppy shit. I saw Poppy bot lane. These are the kind of things you gotta look for, even if you're playing Fiddlesticks or a really shitty jungle, like I don't even know, like Jax. Like you gotta go into the enemy's jungle whenever you see them on the complete other side of the map. You gotta take their shit. Like for here, I got away with taking Poppy's raids, and I'm gonna take her red buff. I am gonna go ahead and clear it because I want to get timer on it. Plus now Poppy doesn't have any idea when it's coming up. I see a gank mid again. I'm just gonna go back once again. By the time Syndra sees me, I'm already on her. I taunt her. She does end up killing me. I didn't have to die for that. One thing you saw me do correctly was I timed my Q to where I was already so fast when I was coming at her. You do that correctly. Well, the one thing I messed up on is I followed it too deep. It wasn't worth dying for, in my opinion. So she was already low on mana. It was going to have to return anyway soon. Once again, Poppy is currently bot lane. She's using that exhaust of hers. Whenever I see Poppies, I always see them take Ghost. I don't see what the point of taking Exhaust is. Exhaust, you can kill one person. Ghost, you can potentially kill several. I do go, and like you see, I'm finishing up with my Cinderhulk. I got the Cinder, the Flame item. I forget the name of it. it builds into the Cinder Hulk with the Trailblazer. You do want to go ahead and pick up your boots and mobility before Trailblazer. So say you already have boots and the Trailblazer, it's a more important buy to get your boots and mobility with Home Guard than it is to finish getting your Cinder Hulk first. So pretty much you're going to want to get Trailblazer and your boots, preferably Trailblazer first, then your normal boots. Once you have your Trailblazer and normal boots, make sure you go ahead and buy your boots and mobility, and then as soon as you can, get your Home Guards and then get your Cinder Hulk. That is so OP. That's the best way to build Rammus in my opinion. Gives you so much more mobility, so much more gank potential. And you're already so strong in the jungle, you really don't need the Cinder Hulk. See, once again, I just walk up in the lane, and it's another free kill. I do have to blow my flash, but it's worth it. Leona's died like 3 times now, so she's de-leveled and she has less gold than everyone else. I do go way too deep here on Urgot. It didn't really make any sense, but it doesn't matter because you're so fast you can get away. One thing I have noticed about Urgot is he's pretty damn strong lately. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but his slow on his Q after he hits you is like really strong. You'll see that later in this game, that when he hits you with his Acid Hunter and then starts hitting you with his Q, that it just fucks you. Anyways, you see me, I finished getting my Cinder Hulk. So like I said, I followed through. First I got my Trailblazer and then normal boots, then boots and mobility with Home Guards, and then I went ahead and picked up my Cinder Hulk. At this point in the game, you gotta decide what's best for you and your team. You can pick up a Sightstone if you want, that would be fine. Sightstone works great. Or you could go ahead, if you feel like you're gonna need a carry, like I feel like I'm gonna need a carry because this Riven's a real shitter, you're gonna probably want to get a Randuin's, because Randuin's gives Rammus tons of health, tons of armor, and an AoE slow. This works perfectly into Rammus's kit. It's like building Hydra on Riven, it's just, you need it. You just gotta get that. Once again, it's another free kill on Syndra. You just go up to her, you hit her with her Q, you hit her with the taunt, she's smacking you with her auto attacks or something to shit. And then right after you taunt her, so you hit her with the Q, taunt, and then you W for the extra damage. Your W gives you like 15 or 20 extra attack damage. It's really helpful. Late game gives you like 40 extra attack damage. Wally Bear's going in here. We're not going to pick up a kill because Poppy shows up, and they actually, like you see, Urgot actually starts tearing into me. Vayne and Urgot are 2 of the best champions to kill Rammus, like 2 of the best AD carry champions. It kind of sounds silly calling Urgot an AD carry, but it's true. He can be an AD carry. Like he's a shitty AD carry, but his passive, it tears through armor, and Rammus's whole core is armor, and that's why Vayne's also good against Rammus, because her true damage. One thing Vayne has going against her is the true damage can get Vayne killed against a fed Rammus, because if Rammus has Thornmail and Rammus is on his W, then Vayne just dies from just that alone, pretty much. I do see a ganking opportunity, but my Q is down. I'm obsessed with using my Q just to get around. I see here, if I go in, I'm going to die, so I just walk away. Plus my Q wasn't up anyways. So he does go ahead and bite the dust. You do want to go ahead and pick up Scuttlers whenever you can. Personally, one of my weakest qualities or attributes of being a jungler is I'm usually pretty shitty about picking up the Scuttlers, just because I do play so much Fiddlesticks. Just roll up in, hit her with my Q, hit her with my taunt, and then click W immediately to smack her around. Akali is up in here. She is really fed. She has like 3 or 4 kills. Ashe pussies out and completely runs away and lets me take about 400 damage before she starts to help. I do end up dying. I could have lived if Ashe didn't run away, but Ashe does go ahead and pick up the kill, nearly dying, so it's not too bad. It was a worth since we. I think that was a shutdown. I'm not sure. So it was worth it though. One thing to remember though, especially when Rammus is your jungler, he's got a pretty long taunt. Like, if Ashe would have stayed there, for example, while I smacked her and taunted her, we probably could have killed her before I even died, to be honest. Like you see, I am picking up the rest of the items to my Randuin's Omen. It's pretty freaking strong, like I already said. It's your choice whether you pick up the Giant's Belt or that other part of the item. I even forget what it's called. It's like Warden's Mel. Is Rammus. You are pretty much after you get your red buff twice and after you get your blue buff at least once, you can go ahead and give your buffs away to your laners. It's really your choice, but if you're playing ranked for real and if you have competent laners and you feel like they could really, truly benefit from getting the buff after you've gotten your red buff twice and your blue buff at least once, go ahead and give it to them. It'll mean a lot. I just roll up to Poppy here, taunt her under Azir's ghetto turret, and then we go ahead and he picks up the kill actually because this turret. It was a really funny kill. She went a little bit too deep. I caught her off, hit her with my Q, hit her with my E, my taunt instantly, and then hit my W real fast for the extra damage. Plus with my red buff and the turret, she was Dunsky. I didn't even have to use my ultimate. I do see a Kali's top. I really wish Riven would follow me and we could kill her, but Riven doesn't really listen. We do go ahead and pick up Dragon though, Volibear and Ashe, so that's pretty neat. I do see a Kali's over there, so I'm a little bit weary. I'm pinging Riven because Riven's a Dingleberry. I do go ahead and take this blue buff because I'm really far ahead and Azir is extremely squishy, and since they have a Fed Kali, me giving it to Azir, this Azir is okay. Me giving it to Azir wouldn't be the most effective considering he's very squishy and he'd get bursted down before he could even be able to use the effects of his blue buff. If he was like Galio, or I don't even know, like maybe even Zed, someone who's got tons of getaway or someone who's really tanky, I'd probably just give it to him. At this point I am really tanky. As you can see, I'm maxing my W, and after you max your W, like you're supposed to max your E, or instead if you're going really balls to the wall, you'll just take 1 point in your, at the very beginning, level 1 W, 1 point in your Q, and then you'll just max your E. Your E is so strong, like your taunt. I personally like to max my W though. I feel like it helps you out a lot, you personally, because it really helps you in the jungle. Plus it gives you more like sustainability, fighting power, and it's just so good. We have them cut out a little bit here, so we're gonna go ahead and jump on it. I am auto attacking Leona. I'm trying to keep her off because I know Poppy's gonna ult somebody and I won't be able to do shit to her, so I just keep smacking her. We do pick up the kill on Poppy. We go ahead and pick off Leona. None of us have died yet. I see Syndra flash over the wall. I flash over with her. I take her with me. Get that bitch. We end up picking 4. We got an ace actually. I don't even know who killed the Kali. I don't even remember that. I think Azir got her. She got like caught on his wall or something. So that was pretty sweet. Well, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I could go ahead and show you the rest, but I think that would pretty much just bore you. From here on out, it's pretty much just stomping. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.